Parents, is your child with autism struggling with low muscle tone, poor coordination, or even delayed motor milestones? Now, you might have tried countless therapies, interventions, but if they're not making physical progress like you hope for, it can be really discouraging because these two things can be very tied together: developmental delays and also motor delays. Now, a new perspective on the root cause might help you break through this plateau, and that's what I want to talk about today. In this video, we'll dive into the surprising connection between autism, special needs, developmental delays, and low muscle tone. We want to talk about the neurological approach to it because, that type of care, when it comes to the nervous system, the really communication brain to body can make all the difference when it comes to strength, stability, and overall development for our kids. Now, today I want us to explore this link between autism and low muscle tone because the signs and symptoms to look out for all go down to the nervous system and neurology. You'll discover too how neurologic-focused chiropractic care is going to help with these root causes. Now, when we look at the stats on this, over 50% of kids that are diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder also have low muscle tone. There's a significantly higher rate than that general pediatric population. Now, this big statistic, it really looks at the connection in between autism and hypotonia. And so the help that goes beyond traditional therapies with this is the neurodevelopmental side of it. Oftentimes we find when kids struggle with low tone or hypotonia, it's not just low tone in the extremities, the arms, the legs, it's high tone in other areas. These kiddos have very rigid posture when it comes neurospinally. They have more rigid posture in their neck, in their low back, in areas that are designed to be freely moving. So it's not that it's all low tone, it's a poor balance of that tone. So much of that motor development and coordination goes to that tone that it's not uncommon to see them have low tone or hypotonia diagnosis, but then also struggle with the diagnosis and the missed milestones that comes with development. Now, with autism being a neurodevelopmental disorder, it can affect behavior, communication, but also that motor development. So much of motor development is rooted in that muscle tone. So if muscle tone is too low, oftentimes that integration of motor movements can slow down. So if a child's going to a PT or an OT, they a lot of times can plateau because those movements don't look coordinated and exhaustion can set in. So it not only sets in their life, it sets in the therapies and in the work they're working out in their brain to really integrate these things. Now, low muscle tone is really a co-occurring condition in ASD. It impacts that ability to meet milestones, maintain posture, perform all those daily activities. Now, when we look at hypotonia and autism, the underlying cause is really deep. And you've got to go back to really the root cause of it and look back to development. And to be honest, it's very hard to look at one thing. That's why we call it the perfect storm. So when you look at the underlying cause of low tone, there's a dysfunction in that central and autonomic nervous system that causes the body and brain to be overwhelmed, which then pushes that motor function and muscle control into more of a struggle. Now, how does this happen? It happens early on with birth trauma, prenatal factors, early life stressors can contribute to subluxation or tone challenges throughout the nervous system. Now, what this looks like is what I talked about earlier, is you're going to have areas of very high tone and areas of low tone. And oftentimes that low tone gets pushed more into the movement centers, the extremities, the arms, the legs. Those areas don't have the strength and the stability they need, but the areas like the spine, the neck, the base, the core, all of those things are overcore. And you see the spasticity in there. So when we have those tone challenges, it interferes with that overall communication between the brain and the muscles, leading to impaired motor control and coordination. Now, as pediatric chiropractors, we're trained to detect and address these areas of lower high tone. We call this subluxation within the nervous system. Now, this subluxation is easy to measure and easy to correct if you know exactly where to go. Now, with INSiGHT scan technology, we can look at exactly where that high tone or low tone is and be able to help either wake it up or calm it down. Then we can provide precise, gentle adjustments with these neurological scans telling us where to go to help restore proper function into the nervous system. So it helps that muscle tone either calm down or wake up in the areas it needs to. Now, we've found that this neurological approach is almost always the missing link when it comes to children plateauing or not getting the expected results from PT or OT. Those are integration therapies. They've done great for them. But if their nervous system can't relax, calm, and wake up those specific areas, then that neurological care plan needs to help unlock it. Then the PT and OT can do their job to help the low tone integrate and optimize the results. So it all truly works together. Now, if this is your child and those two things are working together where, there's developmental delays, but there's also low tone, we want to help you find that missing link because that's where neurology comes in. Here at PwC, our team of specialized pediatric chiropractors, we are dedicated to helping children with autism thrive, with kids with low tone thrive, with kids with special needs thrive. We use the cutting edge neurological technology, those INSiGHT scans, to help kids identify where the struggle is and get to the bottom of it, addressing that low muscle tone, really helping them wake up, engage, and thrive in those therapies, and then thrive in overall development. So we don't want you to wait another day. We would love to help for lasting improvements in your child's strength, coordination, well-being, stability. We would love for you to check this out. Click the link if you want to know more information about these INSiGHT scans. It truly starts with those because that's the unique approach that we can help to find it, to be able to measure it, and to be able to help it, and to engage and to build that strength, build that tone balance that's right. So it's not too high tone or too low tone. And then that oftentimes the motor system in the brain are the kickstart to overall behavioral development, more cognitive development, but getting to the root cause is key. So if you're looking for that root cause, check us out. We would love to help.